Alright guys, happy July 28th, 2025. So this is what I call a breakfast dinner. And I don't know what the facts are, but maybe I'm getting older, but I've seen some videos that I were truly interested in. One with a drill press from Harbor Freight, and the guy was like, so I got this drill press and it was much better than my old one, and I boxed up the packaging and I put it in the recyclable bin, because I'm environmentally friendly. And the pulleys were, and I was like, oh my god, just do the review. And I'm sorry for all my past videos where I blab too much. I'm going to try and change that. So this is what I call a breakfast dinner. This is grandma's, it's like 8 by 16 Pyrex pan. I have some diced up mushrooms, some onions, some carrots, potatoes, chili peppers, regular peppers. I have, for this size of pan, 10 eggs in the bowl that I'm going to whisk up with some milk. And I've got a pound of, sorry about that, I've got a pound of grass-fed beef. And I defrosted it. It's been in the freezer for a while. I defrosted it, and I'm going to cut it up in little pieces because you don't want ginormous chunks in there. I'm sure it'll be fine regardless. But so what I'm going to do is I only use olive oil. I'm not a fan of any other oil but olive oil. So I'm going to spritz down, as soon as I open it, this cooking pan, and I'm going to put down the meat first. But like I said, I'm going to take the knife, I'm going to cut it up really, really thin, browned it in a pan, not really cooked it, but browned it in a pan. And the reason for that is this is going to go on the pellet smoker at 350 degrees. And I gotta be honest, there's no real set time to make this. The heat is coming from the bottom, so when the eggs are cooked on the top, you can guarantee the bottom is done. There's no parboiling or blanching or anything for these vegetables and potatoes, because they're going to have enough time in the pellet smoker to become they're going to be soft enough where you're not going to be annoyed by it. And depending on the size of your pan and so forth, it may take over an hour to make this. But the key factor is to watch the eggs on the top, and when they're done, again, you can guarantee the bottom is done and everything in between. So I'm going to get this meat chopped up with a knife, and we'll put it together, get it on the smoker, and we'll be right back. Alright, so cutting up that browned meat only took a few minutes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get some ground black pepper and garlic, because garlic is good on everything, including ice cream, and some Italian seasonings. And these are all cheapy store-bought stuff. But for this size pan, I've got 10 eggs in my bowl, and I'm going to put probably about a cup of milk in here, and I use 2%. And then I'm going to take my whisk and beat the snot out of this. And once all the yolks are broken up and it looks pretty good, I'm going to add the seasonings. And again, this is your food. You can season it as much or as little as you like. So you know what you like. We'll just set that in there. And the reason that I'm doing it in the eggs is because it's going to be poured over everything here, and it's going to mix very well. And it looks like I'm putting a ton of garlic in here, but I'm really not. It comes out very slow. And the black pepper, Not too much because I don't want it super kicking. That'll do. And then I'll mix it up again. And the most prominent flavor, because of what I put in this, is going to be the Italian seasoning. But you'll have a hint of the garlic and the black pepper as well. Okay, this is ready to pour over. So what I'm going to do now, and it doesn't matter the order, I'm going to put in the fresh sliced, uncooked, unblanched potatoes. And what you really want to do is make sure you get this all spread apart well so that there's even quantities in every bite. Carrots. And again, it's your food. You can put in whatever you'd like. And truth be told, I'm out of tomatoes. But if I had tomatoes, there'd be tomatoes going in this chopped up as well. Onions. These are white onions. They're the best onions for me. They don't cause me a lot of gastric grief. And then the chili peppers. And there's a lot of liquid in this yet, which is kind of a shame because you really want to keep this as dry as possible until you pour the egg on so it doesn't come out all watery and runny. And these are just regular old bell peppers. So we'll put those in. And then we'll put in our sliced mushrooms. And the silver bullet to this is when it's just about done, like maybe 10 minutes left of cook time, I'm going to cover this with the cheese of my choice or your choice. Alright, so the key right now is to get everything submerged in the egg mix. Because you want it all to be like an omelet, I guess. So now we're going to go get the pellet smoker fired up and we're going to put this on there, and we'll be back in a little while and show you what's happening. So I forgot to mention the pan that I browned the meat in with all of the fat rendered from the beef. I put in half a stick of butter and I will pour this on top of the pan, all over the mixture. Talk about flavor. Alright, so now it's on the smoker and we're just going to close the lid. The smoker's warmed up. It's not quite up to temp yet, but it's close. Well, it's kind of close. And we'll be back in a minute for you, in about an hour for me. See how this is working out. Oh boy, this is looking good. But honestly, no surprise. I've done this many times before. Be back. We're just shy of an hour. And you can see, hopefully you can see, the bottom is being cooked well. The top is still runny and nasty. Not nasty. I apologize. That's not the right words. Uncooked. The top is still uncooked, but it's not going to be too much longer. And this is going to be ready to go so that we can put the cheese on it. So, yeah, we'll be right back. Alright guys, so we've been at temperature for about an hour and 38 minutes, something like that. Very close. Hour and 38 minutes. And we're very, very close to being done. So you can tell the bottom of the pan is fully cooked up to probably about 3/4, maybe further of the way. And what we're going to do here very soon, like in the next 10 minutes or so, is sprinkle some cheddar cheese across the top. And we're going to shut the pellet smoker off and we're going to let it finish like that. So the next portion of this video is going to be plating it up. Alright guys, so here we are. time to plate. And we put the cheese on, as we said, about a short period of time before this is done. So yeah, this is phenomenal. Actually, kind of hungry, so we're going to take a double serving. And as I said, you really don't need to par blanch or cook the potatoes and the carrots, onions early, because they're going to cook in the smoker, or you can use an oven. I've made this a million times with an oven, and it all turns out the same. It's very good. It's very tasty. The smoker does add a little bit of smoke flavor. So anyway, this is my rendition of breakfast dinner. And if you've got extra eggs and some veggies, and the tomatoes are missing, as I said, but the tomatoes actually make this a lot better. But it's all said and done, so it's time for me to eat dinner and have some leftovers for tomorrow. So guys, enjoy your day. We'll talk soon. Take care, guys.